everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be decluttering my makeup today, but I have way too much makeup to put it into one video. It would be like super long. So I've decided to split it up by category and start a makeup decluttering series. So make sure you subscribe, that way you'll be able to see all of the videos in the series. Today I'm going to start with my eyeshadow palettes. Let's get started. The first palette I have is the Tartelette in Bloom by Tarte. I really like this palette because it has all the colors you need for an everyday look. Just has like some nice neutral colors, and I like to travel with this as well because it has all the colors you need for a full look right in this one palette. This shade Funny Girl, I dropped the palette at one point and this one shattered. It's like a light shimmery color. I didn't really use it that much anyway, so it's fine. But the two shades I use the most is Rebel and Firecracker, as you can tell. But I still enjoy this palette, so I'm going to be keeping it. The next palette is the Lorac Mega Pro 3. I used to have the Mega Pro 2, but I decluttered it a while back because it just didn't have the shades that I like. I much prefer this one because it has the neutral, like rose gold mauve tones that I mostly use. One thing I don't like about this is the packaging, where it's this material, and especially because it's white, it shows everything and it's so hard to clean. I've tried to wipe this down and it just doesn't wipe down very easily. But I really like the shades in this. Another thing that I don't like about the palette is that it's kind of hard to travel with just because of the size, which, I mean, that's just a minor thing. And there are quite a few shades in here, so sometimes it can be overwhelming to pull this palette out and to create a look with it because there's so many like different shades. But I use this quite a bit, and I'm going to keep this one as well. Wow, this one is really dirty. Sorry for that. This is the Lorac Pro palette, the original, just regular Pro palette. I really like the formula of these Pro shades. I've tried some other Lorac palettes that aren't like the Pro palettes, and I think the Pro palette formula is different than the regular formula because I really like this palette. It's like the formula of these shades and the Mega Pro, they're very buttery, they blend really well, but some of their other palettes that I've used, I just don't really care for. This one has some really good, just like warm, natural tone colors. I use this one quite a bit as well, so I'm going to be hanging on to this one. We're off to a great start. This is the Lorac Pro 2 palette. So while the one had like some warm neutral tones, this is more like cooler tone shadows. I don't use this one as much. I like this light brown color. The plum and the navy I think are pretty, but I just don't really, they're just so dark, I don't really know how to use them. I've used Nectar, the rose color. I think that I'm going to declutter this one just because I just don't use it really, and I don't see myself using these shades like the grays and stuff like that. This J color I tried a couple of times, but I don't know, something about it I just don't care for. I never use the silver or the chrome. So yeah, I'm going to declutter this one. Next I have the Modern Renaissance, and I haven't actually owned this palette very long, even though it is in very rough shape. And no, I don't own a dog. My daughter actually did this. I just don't know how to clean this material. It's like such a weird material. I don't really know what to do. I've tried to wipe it off. It doesn't really seem to work. And my daughter got this dirty and then chewed this part. I have no idea why she did that, but that's why it looks like it does. But thankfully the inside still looks good. Not sure the brushes to this palette. It comes with a brush, but I always take the brushes out because if I don't, then I forget to use them. I like this palette pretty well. I used it a lot when I first got it. I don't use it as much now, but I still really like it. I don't really use these dark red colors as much. I feel like these three are very similar. I like these two for like a transition shade a lot. And this warm taupe color, this Cypress Umber is good for like darkening your crease, or like even like to use as like a dark brown eyeliner. I never use this orange shade. I just don't really know how to use this orange. So haven't used it. I really like Antique Bronze. That's my favorite color in the palette, as you can probably tell. Primavera is good for like the inner corner. So yeah, I'm going to keep this palette, even though it looks pretty rough. Next, I have this Wet n Wild palette in the Comfort Zone. This palette I got because a lot of people had talked about how good this was, and I think it's pretty good for the price, but I've used this a few times and I don't really care for it. I mean, it has some pretty shades like this green. I mean, they're okay, but it's just not really something that I'm going to use. I feel like I have enough of these shades in other palettes that I don't need this one anymore. I hate to get rid of it though, because it's my only drugstore palette. So if you know of any drugstore palettes, like good drugstore palettes, comment those below, because I definitely need to try out more drugstore palettes. This is the Makeup Geek and Manny MUA collaboration. I really like Makeup Geek eyeshadows. I also have some singles that I put into a Z palette. I like this shade a lot. I think this is really pretty. Their foil shades are so nice. And this one too, this is also a foil shade. Kind of running out of room on my arm. I haven't used this palette in a while actually, but I do really like the shades in here. So I'm going to keep this one, especially this shade. I like it a lot. So I'm going to keep it. Oh, wrong place. This is the Tartist Pro To Go palette by Tarte. This was a palette that came out after the like original Tarteist palette came out. This is just like a mini, so you can sample some of the shades in that palette without having to buy the whole thing. These colors are nice, but honestly, I never use this. I think I've kind of forgotten about it where it's so small. I mean, it's okay, but I just don't really see myself using this in the future either. I feel like I have a lot of these same shades. It's the shade Dominate. But I think I'm going to have to pass this one along. The next two palettes are from a website called Bad Habit, which actually, I don't even think that this is a company anymore. I think that they went out of business, because I got this palette when it was on sale. And this is supposed to be a dupe for the Huda palettes. I'm not sure which one this one is, but it's supposed to be a dupe for one of those. The colors in here are really pretty. I haven't really played around with this a whole lot because, I don't know, some of the bright colors just are a little bit overwhelming, I think. I usually stick to a neutral kind of look, but this one, like, the colors were just so pretty and it was super cheap, so I thought I would take a chance on it. I definitely need to try this out more, I think, and give it a good chance. These two colors are really pretty. It's not wanting to focus for some reason, but I mean, I just think this is super nice, especially for what I paid for it, because I mean, I swear, I think this palette was maybe like $8 or something, because like the style was super cheap anyway, and then they were going out of business, so everything was on sale. Yeah, I think I'm going to hold on to this one and like test it out so I can have a chance to just see what I think about it. So I'm going to keep it. This palette's also by Bad Habit. It's the Artistry palette. It has some more like neutral tones. Again, I haven't really used this one too much. I think these colors are pretty. I mean, I think that it is a pretty nice palette, especially for the price. Again, I think I paid like, I don't know, maybe $5 or $6 for this one too. But I just really haven't used this one that much either, and I'm not really sure why. It does have some really pretty shades in here, so I think I'm going to keep this one as well and try to use it some more, see what I think. Naked Basics 2 palette by Urban Decay. I've never used this one. It has some nice, just like neutral shades. These are a little bit more cool tone, but I already know I'm going to give this one to my mom. I know she will get more use out of this than me, because these are the kinds of shades that she likes to use. She doesn't wear a lot of eyeshadow, but she likes more just like matte neutral tones, so I'm going to be passing this one on to her. I have the Butter London palette. I don't remember the name of this one. Oh, Natural Goddess. This one has some pretty shades in it. I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence about this one because I really haven't used it. I got this in a Boxy Charm. This color is really pretty though. I think that might be pretty for summer. And then this one too. I don't know, I think that I will probably keep this one too, just so I can try it out a little bit. This palette is by Clinique, and it is part of a little collection. There's 3 of them. I like this one the best, I think, because of the purplish tones, and so it has like 4 eyeshadows and a blush. I like this blush too, so I think I'm going to keep this one because this is my favorite out of the 3. And then this one, it has some like darker tones. I think I'm going to declutter this one. I don't really like those colors or the blush. And then this one as well. The blush is a little dark. The colors are just nothing special. So I'm going to declutter this one too. This thing I have is this just Z palette. Figured I'd include this too because I have it in this. These are 2 blushes, but these are all, I think they're all Makeup Geek except maybe this one, soft brown. I think this one might be a MAC blush or a MAC eyeshadow. I honestly can't remember. It's kind of messy because I had another Makeup Geek foiled shadow in here and it broke and got all over the Z palette, and I tried to clean it, but it's hard to get up. This shade's really pretty. It is Mesmerized. So I think I'm going to keep all of these. So these are the palettes that I'm keeping, and these are the ones I'm decluttering. My next video is going to be a blush declutter, so make sure you check that out, and thank you all so much for watching.